Becky.
Well, we'll have dinner another night.
Why didn't you call me? I'm worried about you. You okay?
Yeah, I guess.
Becca, I'm a jerk when it comes to you, okay? No, I'm just a jerk, period. I don't know, I just wasn't thinking. I just hit him. I was stupid. Babe, I'm sorry, okay? Please? I had no right, I worried about you all night. I called everybody I could think of. Nobody seemed to know where you were.
I stayed at Lori's, Russ.
Lori's? Yeah. Why would... Forget it. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm glad to have you back. Oh, Beck. Man, I missed you so much, so much. Listen, I'll even call Phil, all right? I'll call him and I'll apologize to him. I was just a jerk. A stupid, dumb, jealous jerk. At least I was your jerk, one you love. What? What's the matter, Becky? I said I was sorry. Look, babe. Listen, I'll help you unpack. And then we'll talk it all out, okay?
I came to pick up a couple things, Russ. I'm not coming back.
Terry Davidson, did anyone ever tell you that it takes more energy to keep a frown on that pretty face of yours than a smile?
Mitch, what I have to ask you for doesn't exactly make me feel like beaming. I don't even know how to say this without sounding like I'm in some kind of a ration line for handouts or something.
Oh, you need more money from the bank, don't you?
I know I told you before that I thought it would be enough, but... Well, Peter's car needs to be tuned up.
Oh.
The weather's so cold, and... Well, there are a lot of other things. I went into his closet the other day, and he really needs some new clothes. We're just barely able to make ends meet.
Terry, you don't have to provide alibis, I believe you. But you should know better than to feel uncomfortable about coming to me.
I just wish I didn't have to do this. It seems so ridiculous to have to get the court's permission just to take money out of my bank account.
Well, now, I just hope the day soon comes when you won't have to bother to come to me for these sort of things. Of course, it would help if that grieving sister of yours would stop a dang blasted campaign to squeeze you out of everything.
Mitch, I want that settled out of court, and that's final. Please don't argue with me.
It's impossible to settle out of court. Not when that vixen won't even consider a reasonable settlement.
She will. If I give her the house, she will.
Now, Terry, that house is an investment that could prove to be invaluable to you. Now, rent it, sell it, but don't give it away.
And what will a court battle give me? Grief? More months of having to come here just to get a little extra cash? I can't stand any more of this, Mitch. It's tearing me apart.
Terry, let me fight this thing in court. We can win. Now, she has already violated the restraining order on the property.
Violated it? She hasn't even come within 30 feet of me, Mitch.
No, listen. Nancy is supposed to keep that house and the property, the whole contents, intact. Now, she's not supposed to sell anything, not even a lampstand, but she did. Now, that's a clear violation of the restraining order on the property.
They won't be any harder on her than they have been on me.
I can make this thing stick, believe me. Now, she has marred the memory of your mother and my friend. And by everything that I hold dear, she's not going to get away with it.
I'm sorry, Mitch. But I won't change my mind. You give her the house. You give her 2/3 of my mother's estate if you have to. But you have got to promise me that you will do everything you can to settle this out of court.
Stubborn Terry. All right. I promise to try. As best I know how. But every bone in my body's rebelling against the idea.
Excuse me. Have you seen Dr. Martin this afternoon?
He should be coming out of there any minute now.
Thank you. Tracy, isn't it?
Yeah, Ben calls me TC for short.
Ben, stand up.
Oh, Lori. So, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
A little sore, but I'll live. Actually, the day's been going better than I expected after last night's camp out.
Well, I said a little prayer for you after you left this morning.
Thanks, I guess it helped. So, is Becky gone?
I talked to her this morning. Becky doesn't have any other close friends that she can go to, Ben. At least no one that cares and that she feels comfortable with.
Look, I'm not asking her to have slumber parties with the girls. The idea is for her to go home to her husband, Lori.
If I tell her that she has to leave, she's not going to go back to Russ. Not now. And that means she might be tempted to go someplace she shouldn't go.
What do you mean?
I mean, Phil. Can't you tell that there's something wrong there, Ben? If she's pushed to go to him, I won't be helping her, and neither will you.
Okay, so now you're telling me we have to take the lesser of two evils.
Ben, I don't want to see her break up with Russ either. But you are not being open about this. Now, you and I are the only two Christians that Becky knows. I mean, maybe she can learn something from us that'll help her relationship with Russ.
Right. That her place is with her husband.
There is something about this situation that makes you cynical, isn't there? Now, I have been trying to work on both sides of the fence without any support from you.
Well, maybe that's where the problem lies. You're trying to please too many people. Lori, Becky doesn't know what she's going to do until she does it. Now, I haven't known her that long, but I do know that she's impulsive. Now, the only answer is for her to go home to Russ. She cannot stay at our house another night. Understand?
I'll talk to her this afternoon. I promise. But it's going to take the grace of God to get me through.
Dr. Martin, you're wanted in 206 right away.
Thanks, TC. Tell them I'll be right in there. I'll see you tonight. I've got to run. Bye.
Well, I've done it. I moved out.
What? You moved out of your house?
Mm-hmm.
Really? When?
This morning. I simply couldn't stand it there another day.
Well, I'm happy for you. I bet Miriam must be pleased.
Pleased? When I left the house this morning, she was busy trying to play housemaid.
Your daughter.
Yeah, I know that's a little hard to believe. She even made an attempt to clean the place up.
Poor child must be suffering from shock.
Yes, I think she is.
See, when you put your foot down, how she responds and jumps to her senses. So, where are you all decided to move to?
Nancy, I have the distinct impression that you think we both moved out.
Well, yeah, of course I do, didn't you?
Not at all. It was my idea. Miriam didn't know anything about it. I'd be insane if I tried to move with her anywhere again.
You moved out by yourself?
Are you pleased about that?
Well, yes, of course I'm pleased. So where are you staying?
Well, I had a few of my things taken over to the King's Arms, but I haven't really settled in there yet.
Well, moving out of that dump certainly calls for celebration.
And just what did you have in mind?
Well, how about a certain suave, sophisticated gent escorting moi to Le Moliere restaurant?
Perfect choice, charming, and quite secluded.
I know, yes. And maybe we can explore a little bit about this liberated lifestyle that you're moving into.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Mrs. Cummins?
Yes, I'm Mrs. Cummings.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Brubaker, Sergeant John Brubaker. I'm investigating some of these annoying phone calls your neighbor, Mrs. Davidson's been having.
Oh, by all means, come in, please.
Thank you. I just talked to her yesterday, and she mentioned you were friends.
Yes, that's right. Do you, have any idea who might be calling her like this?
Not yet. I was hoping you might have some suspicions of your own.
Whoever it is sick. I found her crying the other day. She had just received another call.
If you'll be so kind as to keep tabs on her for me, and if anything should happen, you can give me a ring at either one of these two numbers. Here's my card.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad someone else is concerned about this for Terry's sake.
Me too. I understand your husband's name is Jeff?
Yes, that's right. Why?
Well, I think I saw him down at the station a couple of months ago when he was mugged.
Oh.
How is he?
Oh, he's fine, just fine.
Well, that's great. I had understood that he had terminal cancer and was in the hospital.
Yes, he was.
But he's okay now?
That's right.
Well, something must have happened.
Well, not just something, Sergeant. Someone. The Lord healed Jeff of cancer.
Well, listen, if you can think of anyone who might be doing this, please just give me a ring as soon as you can,
Certainly.
okay? Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye now.
He hates me, Norman. He wouldn't even give me a chance to prove to him anything before he left. He just took off.
Come on, Miriam. Now, you know how your father is. He has to do things right away or else he'll forget about it. That's all it is. Oh, come on. Shh. Let's go sit down. Here.
Am I really that bad? Am I that repulsive that both of my parents, they just can't even stand the sight of me?
No, not at all. Now,
I tried, Norman. I honestly tried to be nice. I did it. Look where it got me.
I know. I learned about that long ago. You gotta look out for number one, Miriam. Nobody else will. It's all that matters. Except, of course, you.
Norman, thank you for that piece of advice. I'll be sure to use it if I have to.
All right, now, how are you gonna manage? Are you gonna get another job?
Not unless they pay me to sleep. That might not be a bad idea.
What?
Well, I read somewhere in a paper once where they can pay you to sleep.
Come on now, Miriam. You gotta be reasonable. Now, you're gonna need a steady income, right? Something lasting? Now, if I moved in with you, you'd have a monthly income, and you'd have a handyman to, look out for things for you. Come on, what do you say, huh?
I think you're sick, that's what. Do you think I would ever dream of having any man move in here with me? What do you think my father would say to something like that?
Yeah, well, your father's gone, and it's not doing you a bit of good. Look at you, Miriam. You're a bundle of nerves.
It's nothing, Norman. I just have had a bad day. Don't you understand?
Yeah, well, one bad day doesn't explain all your tenseness lately. You know what I mean?
Come on, give me Norman, it's none of your business how I feel or what I do or anything, because my doctor is really quite capable of taking care of me. So just
Miriam.
leave me alone.
Miriam. Hey, come on. Come on, wake up.
Come on.
Pay you to sleep. Ridiculous. Major investors profile and funding schedule for Hollister Mall. $8 million. Wow.
Becky, I've been learning some things myself lately. Maybe it'll help you. I don't know.
What?
Nobody's perfect when it comes to marriage. Not even us. I guess you could see that this morning.
Oh, Lori, everybody's entitled to a couple fights. But that's not the same thing as somebody who's constantly trying to manipulate you.
Becky, the most important thing about married life is not to look so hard at a person's faults as the motives behind the faults.
Lori, what are you getting at? I'm sorry, I don't follow.
Okay. Ben and I had a disagreement this morning, and he really got angry with me. But that's not the important thing. I was upset because I didn't understand why he was angry. And when I started thinking about the why, I could love him again. More. I understood him that much better.
But you and Ben, you guys have something. I don't think it would work for Russ and me.
Yes, it would, Becky. I'm not saying that I understand him completely. I don't.
But you love him, Laura.
And you love Russ. You're good for him, and I know he loves you too.
No, he doesn't. Lori, all we do is we have one fight after another. And I'll tell you something, I just can't keep on living that way.
Becky, that's not true. I mean, how could you say something like that? I can't... What are you saying anyway? You want a divorce?
I don't know. I just want him to hurt, Laura. Like I hurt. Well, you wouldn't think of leaving without toasting it off to a nightcap, would you?
No, I suppose not. After all, this has been a very special evening, and milady's wish is my very command.
Oh, bravo, bravo. Okay, Sir Galahad, may I have your coat?
Absolutely.
And why don't you sit down right there?
All right.
And pour out that brandy. I'll get you
Good.
some glasses.
Ah, this was the ideal for a nightcap.
You know, sometimes on a night like this, I just like to sit back and relax and be all warm and cozy and just talk about whatever comes to mind. Or sometimes just cuddle up and not talk at all. Charles, why don't you pour the brandy?
Oh, yes.
What kind of place did you have in mind to move into?
Let's see. It would be refreshing, spacious, accommodating, and, of course, always tasteful.
Something like this place?
Huh.
To your new life, may it be everything that you dare dream.
And to the most charming and talented woman I've ever met.
You have such a way with words, Charles. Why don't you think of spending the night here tonight? I mean, it's so cold out there, and it's so nice and warm in here.
You're right, it is warm. I think I'll take my jacket off, if you don't mind.
Nonsense, go right ahead. You can't feel cozy here. Where can you feel cozy, right? And you shouldn't be driving after you've been drinking. I mean, look what happened to old Scott.
Scott? Oh, Davidson.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. It isn't healthy to drink and drive.
Why don't you just wait here 1 second? Now, don't you go away.
Oh, I won't. You know, Nancy, about Scott Davidson. Was he supposed to have been drinking the night of the accident?
Well, somebody was drinking, or there wouldn't have been an accident, would there?
Oh. Who knows?
I don't know all the details, but maybe we could have an investigation. Webster said he wouldn't leave any stone unturned, so I think I'll just hold him to it.
Well, I'll be. Wouldn't that be interesting? You know, Nancy, I'll bet his wife... Oh, Nancy.
Just something I picked up while shopping today. Do you like it?
Come on, Becky.
No, Laura, he's in love with himself.
Becky, look underneath his faults. Inside him. I saw him that day in the hospital corridor when we took you in. And Becky, that man cares about you.
I wish I could believe that.
Couldn't be Ben. He wouldn't ring the bell. Be back in a second. Hi. Come on in. Becky?
Hey, babe. Oh, babe. I love you so much, so much.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't even think you cared enough. I was a jerk. I'm sorry.
No. I think you got that all wrong, Mrs. Weaver. Completely wrong.
Thank you, Lord.